Yeah, that'd be good. I'd like to start out then with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm covered.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That'd be fine, Tom. No, there's...
We'll be happily interrupted when the chaplain arrives.
Yes.
Let's say officially welcome tonight. This is a happy event. We've done this a few times before, and to be honoring Ernie and Jarrod tonight this way, it makes it a special night. But also, the team members from Rayson-Miller 2021 who have a very unique story in the history of Rayson-Miller. We'll get into this for a little bit. But I think it would be appropriate that I would begin by thanking arguably the oldest Rayson-Miller baseball fan here. I shouldn't say oldest, but maybe the longest and most loyal. My favorite and only wife, Patricia. Thank you for hanging in there all these years. I do appreciate it. As far as we're concerned, the main event here is the Hall of Fame awards. And I think what I'd like to do, especially with Grandma here, is commence with Ernie. And I would ask Ernie to come forward. And Grandma, if you'd join him, that'd be great.
Here's Jeff now.
And we have the chaplain.
You gotta make a speech.
Did she write it down?
Oh, no, that's not true.
Nothing comes out of it.
All right. Ernie, what I'm about to do is read the proclamation, the certificate, honoring Ernie and welcoming him into the Hall of Fame. It reads as follows. Ernie's Rayson-Miller team in 2012 and 13 won 46 of 58 games with a winning percentage of .793. In 2012, RM won Monroe County Co-Championship, and in 2013 was outright county champion. Ernie's contributions, both offensively and defensively, contributed significantly to RM's success. Ernie had 73 hits in these two seasons, batting at a .397 clip. Of these hits, 17 were for extra bases. He scored 36 runs while batting in 23. Struck out all of 4 times in 191 at-bats. Fair to say he was a hit man. Ernie had big hits when the game was on the line. 7 times, Ernie had the game-winning hit. Notably, his RM homer, his one-run homer in the bottom of the 9th, was a walk-off shot in which Rayson-Miller went on to beat Auburn in the year 2013. And in summary, Ernie was also never caught stealing 13 bases. Defensively, in his first season, Ernie played a flawless center field, recording 21 putouts with 3 assists. In his second season, splitting his time between third and short, Ernie had 2 errors and 84 chances, achieving a fielding percentage of .976. Many of his defensive plays were of the oh my variety, frustrating more than a few opponent rallies. He was not a noisy player. He influenced his team with his all-out determination to win. Both his easygoing nature and willingness to play where needed promoted a team-first approach, furthering team chemistry. His encouragement and joy were contagious. RM was a tough out with Ernie in the lineup. This remarkable RM career was only the beginning for Ernie. As a walk-on in his first college season at UVA, he sparked the Cavaliers to the NCAA championship. The summer of his sophomore season, he was the MVP of the highly esteemed Cape Cod League. Upon graduation, he was a 5th-round pick of the Cleveland Indians. June 13, 2021, he was promoted to the major leagues after 2 very successful minor league seasons. The now Cleveland Guardians certainly are expecting big things in the coming season. This award brings honor to Ernie, his family, and teammates, as well as reflecting favorably on the American Legion baseball program. It's presented to you, Ernie, in Pittsford, New York on this day, the 27th of December, 2021, signed by Commander Al Herdclocks, myself, and Coach Jeff Teal. Congratulations. Ernie, if you want to say a few, I'd love to hear from you.
Before you say anything, I would like to present you with the American Legion Baseball Medal.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ernie.
All right, Sam, thank you so much, man. What an honor. First, I want to thank the members of the Post. Without you guys and your support, none of this would be possible, and it's such a cool opportunity getting to play for Rayson-Miller, so it's a real honor, and thank you guys very much. Secondly, Sam, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support has been incredible over the years. Ever since I joined the team, I mean, I learned so much and had such a blast playing for you and getting put on the RM jersey. It is a true honor, and you know, I met so many amazing people in my time at playing for Rayson-Miller, and I'm just so fortunate that I continue to get to play the game that I love, and without you guys, it wouldn't be possible, and I wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you so much, seriously. I wish Teal was here. Yeah, I texted with him before I got over here, and he wished he could be here, but you know, in front of you guys, I want to say thank you to him because he was awesome too. He kicked my butt every once in a while, so it was such a blast. So seriously, thank you guys, and let's have a good time.
Thanks, Ernst. You know, I jumping around a little bit, but we have another guest here who is great. We're grateful that he took time out of a very busy schedule with one dear wife and two young, demanding, future budding female athletes to stop for a few minutes because he wanted to show support for Rayson-Miller Post. You met Dan Ford moments ago, but let me repeat that he played against our teams, he's coached against our teams, and thanks to him, as of the last many years, probably seems a lot longer to him, 3 years, he's been the district administrator. And for the players that don't quite understand how this works, if there was no district administrator, there'd be no league. We couldn't play. So Dan has indeed paid back. His sense of volunteerism is something that is quite impressive. And Dan, I'd like to thank you for being here on behalf of Rayson-Miller Post. If you'd say a few words, we'd appreciate it. Thanks, Dan.
So I'm batting .333 coming to these things. Tom's invited me the past couple of years, and something always came up, whether a function came. Last year, everyone got sick, and this year, there is another party I have to get to, which is why I'm speaking now. But I appreciate Tom's efforts to keep this program alive, and not only alive, but thriving in this challenging time. I want to commend the team for showing up, getting your games in. I know it was a struggle this year. I know you had opponents who would not show up, but you guys always did. And that's why you guys were the ones who were able to move on and go to Socrates and represent District 7. So I would commend you guys for that. A couple words on the Hall of Fame inductees. You know, I show up to Pittsford Sutherland in 2012, and, you know, Tom's got this team that's loaded, and he's got this AGR shortstop from Brighton, and I look at the lineup card and I see Nate next to his name, and I'm like, why is this kid playing center field on a team like this? And it shows, no matter how good of a ball player you are, the selflessness to be on a team and do what's right for that team on that given night. So, Ernie, I commend you for that. I know the guy in the back might have had something to do with that because he was playing in the middle infield as well. But, you know, it was not a fun night for us, and it wasn't a fun night in the playoffs either. But, you know, you guys were a better team and definitely deserved it. And for the other nominee that Coach Sapp will talk about later on, I have a little bit more of a personal connection to. When I was a freshman playing at Brockport, my old Little League travel coach, decided to open up a building next to the Dome Arena. And I would go and I would hit in this dark dungeon, and I look over the tunnel over, and there's this kid, and all you hear is pop, pop, pop. The ball is just flying. And it was a sophomore at Sutherland named Jarrod Rampey. And, you know, every night him and I would be there from probably 5:30 at night when we got out of work until, you know, Coach Kuba would close the doors at 9:30 for us. And, you know, we had our own little one-on-one battles, and he got the best of me most nights, but there were some nights I could connect it. But, you know, Jarrod was a very, very special ball player and a very special person, and we dearly miss him. But for the guys that are coming back next year, you know, don't take anything for granted. This is you know, we're in tough times, and you know, we've already lost a team from our division. Luckily, I have added one, so we're back to 5 teams, and we're hoping to push for a 6th, hopefully a 7th. But I think what some of you guys have learned is how special this program is and the time he puts in. But in order to put these teams together, it's got to be on you guys. All right, you have a positive experience here. Tell a friend, and then that friend tells a friend. That friend tells a friend, and that's what's going to keep this ball rolling. So I thank you for the time. I thank you guys for showing up every night and representing us the right way for our District 7 League. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan. Dan, I know you got to scoot when you have to just fly. Just here. Okay. I would add before Dan runs away that if you haven't noticed, Dan and I go to the same barbers. I knew there was something I liked
16 years strong.
I knew there was something I liked about him. I think the chaplain is here, and if he's ready to go.
With the advisor.
Chaplain, good evening. Good evening.
Evening.
When you're ready to go, we're ready for your prayer.
Okay, well, give me just a moment here.
You got it.
It will only be a moment. Okay. I thought that since it was close enough to Pearl Harbor, and that I know how much you appreciate this country, that maybe I might have a few words to say on that, so there it goes. Let us pray. O Lord, you are a God of peace. You do not delay in war. And as such, what happened on December 7th, 1941, challenged all of us individually and as a country. We had to face the grim reality, as best we could tell, of declaring war. We hope and pray, even to this very day, we carried out your most holy will as best we could discern. We beseech you to grant peace to all who died and suffered at Pearl Harbor on that day of tribulation. Please remember also those who responded to that bloodshed. We pray that you lighten the burdens of those who survived World War II, and eternal rest for those who never return, and consolation to their families. Help them all keep up their faith in you. May we never forget. Amen.
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 Thank you, Chaplain. You know, I don't want to be a reverend chaplain on this job. I missed a call from a team member on Christmas Eve, and it was a voicemail. And the voicemail said, "Coach, you might be at Mass, being it's Christmas Eve, and I understand that, and hope it's going well, and I do hope you remember to pray for Rayson-Miller." And I would add, Alex Sassman, I do all the time, and I have all the time for decades. And Chaplain, if it's okay with you, maybe you can sneak that in there the next time. The big guy. I think at this point, what now gives me great pleasure is to ask that the Leafsheds come forward. Jarrod Rampey's teammate, Charlie Leafshed, manager, can't be here, but his folks are. And long story short, Jarrod's folks could not attend tonight either. They were quite humbled on behalf of their son, and they had asked that the Leafsheds accept this award on his behalf. So, it's with my pleasure and my honor that I present the following certificate. It reads as follows. Jarrod Rampey played 3 seasons for RM from 01 to 03. Jarrod's teams were 76-23, a won-loss percentage of 768. His teams were Monroe County co-champs in 01 and 03, while winning the District 7 championship in 02. This is the most successful 3-year period in RM history. Jarrod contributed mightily as a right-handed pitcher, hitter, and position player. He is Hall of Fame worthy as either a pitcher or position player. When his success at both positions is considered, he becomes a consensus selection for the RM Hall of Fame. As an RHP, his record was 15-2 with 2 saves. Opponents hit $186, as Jarrod allowed only 86 hits in 125 innings pitched. He struck out 163 hitters in those 125 innings while walking only 40, with an ERA of 2.55. In 02, he pitched and won the District 7 championship game versus Doubt Post. As a position player, mostly at shortstop, he totaled 139 assists and 48 putouts with only 12 errors for a fielding percentage of 940. 19 of Jarrod's 118 hits were for extra bases, resulting in a .363 batting average. He scored 86 runs and added 57 RBIs, 9 of which were game winners. J-Rod, one of his nicknames, outstanding statistics belie his true contributions to his RM teams. To be sure, he was surrounded by a talented bunch of players. However, game after game, he was the leader, whether on the mound, in the field, or at bat. His baseball skill set, combined with an indomitable warrior spirit, was the driver to RM's record success. His year-round work ethic to make himself the best ball player possible was inspirational and commanded the respect of both teammates and opponents alike. These qualities resulted in Jarrod earning a D1 scholarship as a pitcher to Wofford College. He concluded his D1 career at Binghamton University. Tragically, cancer took Jarrod on January 24th, 2021. His spirit and accomplishments, however, will live on, inspiring any who had the honor and good fortune to have been his teammate, opponent, coach, and whomever may read or learn of his RM contributions in the future. This award brings honor to Jarrod's memory, his family and teammates, as well as reflecting favorably on the American Legion baseball program, presented with honor in Pittsburgh, New York, posthumously. On this day, December 27, 2021, signed Al Herdklatz, Commander, Sapienza Manager, Jeff Teal, Coach. Congratulations.
Coach, can you wait a second?
Sure.
Obviously, it's with a bit of a heavy heart and mixed emotions we're here today, and while we're happy to hold this on behalf of Jarrod's family, and they've sent us some remarks to read, there's really only one person here who should accept this award on behalf of Jarrod, and that's Coach Sapienza, and you'll see why when. So if you wouldn't mind, Coach, we're going to ask you to hold that.
Thank you.
So, Dee and Robbie Rampey send their regrets that they cannot be here today. They live in the Carolinas, and traveling this time of year is difficult for them. But they did send us some remarks that they asked that we present on their behalf, and we are honored to do that. So, on behalf of the Rampeys, let me say that we could not be prouder of our son and his accomplishments. I would like to thank Rayson-Miller Post 899, Coach Tom Sapienza, and all those in attendance for this award and honor for our son. Rayson-Miller American Legion Baseball holds a special place in our hearts. Some of our fondest memories of our time spent in the Rochester area stems from following Jarrod around the area playing baseball.
One of Jarrod's biggest concerns after moving to Pittsburgh and playing Little League and school baseball was that he was afraid he would not be invited to play in the Rayson-Miller team. The morning he came home from meeting with Coach Sapienza, He received an invitation to play was a major highlight in his young life. I began to wonder if he would ever wipe the smile off his face.
Of all the teams Jarrod played for, I can say without question, Rayson-Miller was his absolute favorite. He felt a kinship to this team and all his teammates, which he continued to carry forward throughout his short life. He stated without hesitation that he learned more about baseball, friendship, and playing as a team from Coach Sapienza and Coach Teal than from all of his other teams and coaches combined. Jarrod viewed RM as a brotherhood with a mission. Following his freshman year in college, he made a special request to come back for his final year of eligibility to play Legion baseball instead of college summer league baseball. His coaches saw how sincere he was and granted him the opportunity. If Jarrod were speaking to all you current players, he would convey the following advice to each of you. Do not underestimate the privilege you have been given to play for this team. Listen to and hang on every word that Coach Sapienza offers you. He is the best, most caring, and knowledgeable coach you will ever have. Cherish the friendships you are making with your teammates. They will last a lifetime. Do not take your talents for granted. Always strive to improve. Win or lose, leave it all on the field every game. First and foremost, have fun. It's not life and death. And be true to yourself and follow your dreams. In closing, we truly appreciate the recognition of our son. I can assure you that Jarrod is looking down with a huge smile on his face and would like for each of you to know that he is now pitching for the Angels. Thank you and God bless.
I'd also like you to accept the medal on behalf of Jarrod for the American Legion Baseball.
Thank you. We'll make sure that his folks get this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As the Leafshits are returning to their seats, I can direct this to the ball players and ball fans. Maybe Ernie will get a kick out of it, and Danny. Jarrod was our shortstop when he wasn't pitching. And we were playing, and I see our friend from Rayson-Miller Post, Mr. Pasternak. Coach, thanks for coming. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you till now. But at the time, we were ahead 2-0 in the sixth. And they had a runner at third with one out and their 3-hole hitter up. And I instructed the infield, let's play back, let's get the out. So Rampey moved to the outfield grass and on a 2-2 hopper into the hole, planted and threw a perfect strike to the ditch to get the runner who had advanced from third at the plate. And Teal comes up to me after the play and he said, what the hell was he thinking about? Jeff, he got the out, but we said play back. So the inning ends, and he comes in and I said, J-Rod, come here. I said, when I said play back, what do you think I meant? And he said, well, just give me more time to respond. And I said, and get the out at first? And he said, Coach, I got him at the dish. Okay. Enough. That was it. At this point, I tell you that we're delighted for the Hall of Fame recipients that we have, and if before you leave tonight, you might want to take a peek at the picture that's up that has each of their 4 pictures on it, and it's very well done, and it is where it belongs. That's for sure. At this time, I would like to say that the coaches that I've been blessed to have, in fairness to some of these comments that have been made, and I appreciate it, but I could only reel off a handful. But first, perhaps, would be my longtime dear acquaintance, Jim Conte, J.B. Conte, who was with me for many years, and JB was with me, and Jeff Teal, you've heard the name, Mike Balta, Billy Rasmussen, Pat Greer, I'm fearful I'm forgetting, Ronnie Habecker, I'm fearful I'm forgetting some. But make no mistake that these coaches are pretty special people, and they had to be to work with me, and invariably they made the right recommendations. And if we've been competitive, it's largely because we've had some great coaches, just wonderful coaches. And on that note, I'd like to call Coach Bob Spiegel and Jordy Klein. And I have a presentation for Coach Spiegel. And this certificate, if I can find my glasses, the print's only 1 inch. All right. Certificate of Achievement and Gratitude presented to Robert J. Spiegel for your contributions as both a team member in 74-75, give or take, and coach of the 2021 Rayson-Miller baseball team with a record of 10-11, and there's still a story hanging there. I know Ernie and Dan were thinking about that, which remarkably captured the District 7 co-championship, earning a trip to the New York State Legion Championships in Saugerties, New York. Your baseball knowledge, positive attitude, sense of humor, commitment, and influence were instrumental in achieving this co-championship. This would not have happened without you, Coach. Thanks. Thank you. And for this young man, Certificate of Achievement presented to Jordan Klein for your contributions as coach of the 21 Rayson-Miller baseball team with a record of 10-11, which remarkably, there's that word again, captured the District 7 co-championship, earning a trip to the New York State Legion Championships in Saugerties. Despite this losing record, your ability to connect with each player while promoting team welfare and positive encouragement resulted in this accomplishment. Your commitment and influence were instrumental in achieving this co-championship. This would not have happened without you, Coach. Thank you for that. At this point, the fun starts, because now we get to make the presentations to the players. And there's no pressure, players, but you've given a very brief introduction of yourself, but upon receiving your award, it's expected you will say a few words as to your experience and anything else that comes to mind. This is your podium for at least 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And what I would do is I'd start by calling up our first player, Cameron. Welcome. And Cameron is going to have to stand here for a minute while the three of us see if we can recreate this remarkable comment on a 10-11 team that actually made it to the state championships. A little history is helpful. In 2020, Legion Ball shut down. So in 21, we had to make a decision whether or not we were going to put the show on the road. And unfortunately, three of our seniors, our three-year players, of those three, Colin Smith, Donnie Valenti, and Jesse. Jesse's the only one here tonight. When we spoke, we decided that we would speak to those three players to see if they had the enthusiasm to jump back in. Because what we've learned, and what I've learned, is that the players know who the players are. And what we look for are good people, can't be ex-murderers. Good players, got to have some skill sets, and they got to be willing to happily commit. And it wouldn't hurt to have a little enthusiasm. So it was relying on those three players, and their response was, without question, Coach, let's go for it. Let's get back to the States. Those three gentlemen that I mentioned had been to the state championships in 2019, and they wanted to get back. So, as this year unfolded, we were scrambling, even up until the deadline in the middle of June, to round out our roster for 16 players. It was difficult because many of the other players had made other commitments in other leagues and so forth. But finally, when we got everybody together, and some of our older players who were coming back from college and had not really played in something approaching 2 years, started knocking the rust off. And I would just give you the overview, and we'll introduce them in a minute, but there were a couple turning points in my memory. And one was a night, unfortunately, our friend Dave Pasternak, the head man at Raymond, would understand this in the spirit in which it's presented. We were 3-6, and we weren't going anywhere. And the wheels were spinning, and we just couldn't get out of our own way. And things started to look up when our boy Rhodes started to hit the hell out of the ball that night. And had a couple real big RBIs to keep us in the game. And culminating in the 6th inning, we're still down by a run, and Jesse, countryman, he led off the at-bat. And Jesse hit a ball that may still be going. And it was one of those deals. And the bench absolutely erupted. And the next inning, our pitcher, who had started, Colin Smith, laid down a perfect squeeze bunt with 2 strikes, go figure, which knocked in the winning run. And Rhodesy also not only had some big hits, but he nailed down the victory from the mound. And I think it was our opinion that that might have indicated that maybe we got something going here. And fast forward, at that point we were 3-6. We'd already lost 3 times to Ely Fagan Post. And Ernie and Danny can appreciate this. We had faced 2 D1 pitchers, and Jordy pitched at a high level, and he's telling me that one of them might have been throwing 90. Yeah. And they were bringing it pretty good, and 90 miles an hour is pretty quick. And our players could tell you that. And we didn't have a lot of success those first 3 games. Well, an amazing thing happened. And Chaplain, this comes back to commenting on our baseball guy. Thank you. Because what happened was both of those players, and I heard it mentioned, were committed to D1 college programs. And the D1 college programs dictated that they come to school and play summer for their summer teams. So the next time we faced Ely Fagan Post, the talent level that had been Ely Fagan and Rayson-Miller, guess what happened? And our guys were like, the blood was in the water. And we won the next 3 games, and the highlight of which was in the playoffs. And Danny Ford put together a 5-team playoff. The champion would go on to Saugerties. And we had beaten them in the first game, and they were up against it, but we were feeling pretty good. And it was a close game, and it got to maybe the 6th inning. And what happened was one of our 3 older guys, Donnie Vareni, was playing second base. The first 2 guys get on base, and whoever the hell it was hits a rocket at Donnie Vareni, who does one of these. Boom! And the ball right in his glove. Runners at first and second. Surprisingly, they're down by 1 or 2. The runner at second's got his head down. He's flying. So Donnie catches it, and our shortstop at the time is coming over to take the throw. Donnie goes to first. Cart is at first base, catches it, and meanwhile the runner who had started at second realized, ruh-roh, and he lost his footing, and he was scrambling, and Cart did one of these. How many triple plays you ever been a party to, Ernie? How about you, Danny?
None.
Okay, you missed a good one. You missed a good one. And we looked at ourselves, we thought, the stars are aligning. Baseball gods are smiling. So we did go on to beat them the 3rd game, and that put us into the finals against Dowd Post. And again we ran into some D1 pitching. But the difference was these guys had been playing baseball up close and personal, and we started to make some noise. And we lost a very difficult first game, 4-0, and it was closer than that. The second game, we got them. And Cart came on and nailed it down for us. And as it turned out, just to put in for full disclosure, the Dow Post coach came over to me between games because we now had to play off to see who would go to Socrates. He said, "Coach, my team won't go." "What?" "My team won't go." I said, "Okay, have a good summer." We went. And the Socrates experience, I'll let the guy speak to it. I'd summarize it, as you might have gathered. You've probably heard the expression 0-2 in a barbecue. We had a nice barbecue, and we ran into some pretty good teams, and it didn't go real well for us. But still in all, there were 4 other teams back in Rochester that did not make it to Socrates. So to say that this is a remarkable turn of events. When Ernie and Danny played, we had to get by 20, 30 teams. When our oldest son played, there were 44 teams in the district. There's now 5. So however it came to pass, when Danny Ford commented that you guys were rewarded to some degree for showing up. And that's what you did for about the first 2 weeks. But you got into it, and for reasons that we can only be grateful, we ended up with a pretty darn good ball club. And we're very proud of you guys because at any point it would have been real easy to fold the tent. And on that note, I think of Spiegel with his tent. We played most of our games over at Honeyway Falls, and they were still, we played on a turf field. There was no dugouts. Spiegel was our tent man, so we had a tent for our dugouts. And I'm going to turn to you, Jordy. What have I missed?
So the thing that I'm going to take away from this team the most was the resolve you guys had and that you never quit. I think we had 3 walk-off wins, that like games that maybe we shouldn't even have been in, that we came back and like didn't quit. Like that was the most remarkable thing to me. Early we weren't playing well and we never quit. And that even happened when we got blown out in States in the second game. We were done. We were down by, what, 9, 10 runs?
Touchdown.
It was a lot. It fell over. And we put up like 6 runs in that inning and like almost got back. We ran out of players because Sassman broke his foot. And we only had 9 guys, so we were down to 8. And Sassman, to his credit, would not come out. Like that was incredible to me. But that's the thing I'm going to take away most of this team. We just kept pushing through, and that is bigger than baseball. That can be your life. Like, there's going to be times that life sucks, things don't go well, but what you guys showed is that you guys can push through things and get through it and continue. That's why I love sports. It's not just about the sport, it's about what you can gain in life too. So, thank you guys for this year.
Yeah. Great.
If you don't mind, when Coach Sapienza recruited me to help out a little bit, I said, oh, this will be fun. Well, I didn't know what I was getting into. And as the season started, every game it was always Socrates. After about 4 or 5 games, I said, I don't have to worry about going to Socrates. You guys were doing so good. But I'll tell you what, that game over at Penfield that night, I walked away and went,
Sorry, Dave.
this was, yeah, sorry about that.
The one other coach.
You know, and I mean, my hair just tingled just now. That was one of the coolest games I've ever watched. I go to Major League games, any game. That game, when the home run went, that was pretty cool. And everybody, there was a change. There definitely was a change. I mean, we didn't win all the way out, but we had some really good games, and we were in them all the time. And in Socrates, we had a couple of, there was that one ground ball that went by the shortstop, almost took his head off on a bad hop, and their shortstop decided to hit 4 triples in one game. You know, it was tough. It was fun. I got to tell you guys, I had a lot of fun watching it. It was fun being out there. So it's always fun to be with him.
It's a great group. I would tell you that we're missing some of our players, and certainly I wish Collie was here, and I wish Donnie Moran was here. We have, with all due respect, either big-time characters or small-time characters, and you're missing two of the bigger-time characters. And I regret that they can't be here. Donnie was a trip, but the triple play, because I had a great view of this, the ball just, boom, and click, and it was just interesting. Now, Cameron Blobell, thanks for seeing me. You're doing a nice job. You're doing a nice job. Now let me read Cameron's. I promise I'm not going to read everybody's, but they're all going to look alike when you get home. You'll read Certificate of Achievement, presented to, who is this? Cameron Blobell, there you go. For your contributions as a member of the 2021 Rayson-Miller Post 899 baseball team, with a record of 10-11 and a District 7 champion. I didn't put the word remarkable. This success was due to both your high quality of play as well as your commitment to the team and the ideals of Legion baseball, to include responsibility, dedication, hard work, enthusiasm, loyalty, respect, and courage. Presented in Pittsburgh, New York on this 27th day of December, signed by Commander Al Herdklotz, myself, staff the ends of Coach Spiegel and Coach Klein. Congratulations. Now, as you run away, I'm going to hand you the envelope. There's a picture in there of that team. Here's your certificate. Everybody gets a picture. Here are some statistics. Some of you might want to hang on to them. There's Rayson-Miller year by year since 1974. Here's one of our favorite quotes from Teddy Roosevelt. Anybody know the comment he made about the man in the arena? It's one of my favorites, one of ours. And I thought it would be important to have the dedication induction comments for both Jarrod and Ernie. And these are, hey, congratulations. Thanks. All right, Jacob Campbell, late to the party. Okay, anybody who's not in the Rayson-Miller team, okay, nickname, Jacob Campbell. So, there you go. So, congratulations. Just as a word, real quiet, as an aside, what did you have behind the dish at Honey I Falls this spring? 2 innings?
I think I had 5 in the first game and then like 3 later in the
Okay. Let the record show he caught for us. And this mild-mannered guy, he's got a cannon for an arm. When we had practice the first time, and he's throwing seeds, Danny, from his knees. The second, who do we got here? What is going on? And I would tell you, and I didn't quite get all the stats done, but about 1 out of 2, maybe, he threw out. And yeah, and they sing higher. So there you go. But we truly hope you're coming back. We need you to recruit at HFL. Congratulations.
I think having you changed our whole team because it allowed us to put Kyle at third and Sasserman, or Kyle Short, Sasserman at third, and it changed our whole team.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks. Jesse, as Jesse's coming up, I think when I read Ernie's induction comments about his home run against Auburn, and I think I go back to Danny Mendick's induction language, where he hit a home run in the bottom of the 6th late in the season for us to win the championship with Untitled Post in Webster. This guy's home run was magic. Congratulations. Congratulations. And Ethan Ford, another Cougar. Ethan and Soup, we wonder when they're in a car together if any words are spoken. They're on the same hockey team, and what I know is this guy's a baseball player, so I don't know what this hockey stuff's all about. But, he plugged in for us in left field, hit some first base, pitched a little, but what we also saw was he hit the ball. And Hi, guy. There you go. You're good right there. And as you're standing there 1 second, this was another catcher. And so you know, the Menden coach said to me when I told them that Kyle had agreed to join us, he said, "Coach, you're getting the best catcher we ever had." I said, "Wow." And let me repeat, Soup caught for us this guy, not unlike what Ernie did as an AGR shortstop, went to center field. This guy ended up as our shortstop. And when we put that piece together, made all the difference in the world. You did a great job. Thank you. Thank you. Brendan, PK. Okay, does anybody here remember the cartoon Roadrunner? What noise do you hear with the Roadrunner? Any beep? Okay, that's what we hear when he's in center field. Not many balls land safely with this guy running around out there. And when we talk to him a little bit, we find out what he does for fun is run, cross country. And if I got it right, state champion or third place. So, and for those of us who think of running like our daughter was a swimmer, and I always kind of went, when does the fun start? But that's all right. I know he's a baseball player, and he did a great job for us. Leadoff hitter, fast, but a great head on his shoulders. And I sense he'll be a very good recruiter for Rayson-Miller Post this spring.
Also the swaggiest
Thank you. Just so you know that we're all still part of the world, the Milady twins, they do exist. COVID.
They're the same person.
Hardy. Hardy. Finance at Syracuse? Accounting, I was close. Close. We found in the very first game, this guy hadn't played in 2 years. It's like, wow, where'd he come from? And the fact that he wasn't playing baseball, because he attends Syracuse, they don't play baseball. Just a great baseball player. Center field, outfield, first base, forget about it, as they say. There were some plays he made at first base that, honestly, this week in baseball. And put that aside, best hitter we had right here, he's our 3-hole hitter, hit some huge hits for us. Seems to me our friends at Ely Fagan remember one. And on the mound, he was the one who nailed down that victory at Honey Falls to get us to Socrates. So, just a superior baseball player, and in my humble opinion, just a shame he isn't doing that somewhere right now.
You played club.
Club, good enough.
There you go.
Good enough. Congratulations. His dad and mom were amongst our best fans, and I think they were amongst our favorite fans because he always came and was good. Dumb. Abe. Our Virginia Tech engineer.
Yeah, I know.
Abe is an outfielder, which means he's a hitter, and that's going to happen big time this summer. All right. Abe, congratulations. Thank you. And Ben Rainey didn't have Eric Rose. Eric, you've already heard his name mentioned. He was our winningest pitcher. He's a lefty, and won some big games for us. When we only win 10 to get there, all 3 were huge. And Eric just did a great job. And I might add, to give you some idea as to the commitment, his family had a commitment that unfortunately coincided with the States, and yet he did drive from somewhere up in the mountains to be at a 10 o'clock first pitch because he was pitching for us that Saturday. And it's just typical of what we got out of this group. And Eric, you had a great season. We're going to miss you. Thanks, Eric. Alex Sassaman. Not hobbling, we hope. All right. Alex was brought to us, this is the other irony of this. Alex was brought to us, I didn't know this young man until Coach Pasternak, a competing coach for Bremen Post, called and said, T, how's your roster look? I said, we're looking for players, Dave. He says, I got one of the best ones around, and he belongs on your club. And it was because of Dave that I even heard of this guy. And I might add, it speaks to also what I found with Legion Ball. There's a collegiality about it. We want the best players playing Legion Ball. And Dave, thank you for that guy. We appreciate it. Part of this goes to you. Hey, congratulations again. Thanks, Sass. Another catcher. And Donnie Ronnie's not here. All right. I think what we'll do, Al, is I think...
Well, I'd like to interrupt you.
Whoops. All right, go ahead. Interrupt.
Tom, I'm going to make you wear this.
What's that? St. Christopher.
Yes, right. This is the American Legion baseball medal. And you're a great person, and you've done so great at it.
Thank you very much.
You have the Hall of Fame there. I think this should adorn your office.
Thank you. It is the best. I don't know if you've all seen this yet, but it's the one up there. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Cal.
I would be remiss, thank you. Jeff is here and Donna Barnes. These wonderful certificates, Ernie, your award, Jarrod Rampey's award. Brenda Barnes, please wave, our photographer. Thank you. Donna, I'm sorry. And then Jeff with some special parchment and printing and so forth. Thank you both for chiming in and making this happen. Very special. Well done, Donna. Thank you. And my last words go to Commander Hertklotz and the entire Rayson-Miller Post. Thank you for your ongoing support. We always appreciate it. Thank you for hosting. It's kind of like home here. And we hope to be back. And we do appreciate, Al, everything that you and the Post does for us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you have a big friend that wants to be beaten, just come to one of the games.
Al's wife came to her first game at Rayson-Miller and got hit by a foul ball. What's the plan? Anyway, anybody else have anything? Players, I have one uniform back. Sassaman, you have your uniform somewhere, I'm sure.
Yes.
Make sure I get it. And players, we need players. Names, numbers, call us, text us, do whatever you got to do.
Text me.
Text him. Yeah, that's right.
You guys could play this.
Ernie, Danny, if you're not playing this, you might have to shave. Yeah, Danny, you got one of these coming. Now,
Oh, yeah?
come up, Danny.
No, it's all right.
I'm here.
Go on up there.
For those who aren't so informed, just so you know, Ernie was a Cleveland Indian. He's now, Ernie, you got your head around his Cleveland Guardian?
Guardian, yep. Yep, we just made the change.
What's the logo? What's the look like?
I think it's a baseball with some wings coming out of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Guardian Angel?
Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing.
Alright,
It's confusing.
alright, perfect.
It's gonna take me a little bit to get used to it.
Danny, what's the word on this strike and everything? What's going on?
Lockout? It's up in the air. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we play.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
What happens next?
They got to come up with a deal. They got the CBA has to agree, or the players in the union, or the players in the MLB have to agree.
What's your guess?
I think they come up with a deal. Yeah, I think we play baseball.
Good.
So.
Yeah.
If not, we're in.
I would say too, it was hinted at, but just for the record, Ernie, I think you did play a little shortstop for us, a little?
Yeah.
Okay, not much. Okay. Danny, did you ever?
I don't think so.
No. Danny played shortstop for the Chicago White Sox. Holy moly. And the other thing Danny did, that he, at the Chicago White Sox that he never did for us, he pitched at Fenway.
Strikeout, right?
Yeah.
He got a strikeout. So when my Chicago buddy, who knows all about you and so forth, I get a text. He said, all right, add this to your list. You say Danny never pitched for you. He also just pitched for the White Sox today.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny. But thank you all for coming, especially holiday time. It's just, it's a good night for Rayson-Miller baseball. And Ernie, again, congratulations from our heart.
Thank you, guys.